I'm just gonna start recording. Like, I love the
Oh,
flow. Yeah, I haven't even been recording. I love the flow. So,
okay.
but
Okay.
welcome back, you guys. New Rich, New Energy podcast. I believe this is number 22 in the books. Early edition here. Yes, amazing number, right? 22. Here with here with beautiful Freedom Jennings, no stranger to the show. Welcome, sister. Satnam, bienvenidos. How are you?
This is Bellatrix.
Bellatrix is in the house. She's the co-host today. She's going to
Yeah.
be sitting in, and we've just been having an amazing conversation, which we're going to follow. So you guys know that the purpose of this show or this video was to bring her on so she can expand on the truth of tarot, tarot readings, what it means, how you can utilize it, um, things of that nature. So I'm gonna let her share her truth on that. But we're kind of just really talking about energy here for a minute, and it's true what she was saying. She's saying how I guess she was presented where she works at to teach energy work because people want to become practitioners. And I guess that's the point we're speaking on is in this arena, you just can't sign up for 2 hours and become a yoga
Yeah.
instructor. You know what I mean? You can't you can't do a week training course and get a certification. You're a life coach. Like this is not how energy works, and it's pretty interesting. Have to really invest time. You really have to understand the constitution of dielectricity, magnetism, understand how energy works, the components. It's a real thing. That's why I've taken upon myself to do NMRT, learn the meridians of the body. They call it chi energy, and taking stored energy where the trauma is and releasing it so your energy can flow. So there's so many different components to energy. You know what I mean? So
You know what else I think about the energy of it is like money is also energy. I think even investing money energy is important. Really. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessary. Like I was able to do healing work when I was little without investing any money, or I was able to do dream interpretation when I was little without investing money. But like as I get older and that's my job, and I want to learn other modalities and I want to understand things, and I go to people who have mastered those things and I pay them money energy because, and it's investing in myself too. Like it's investing in my own energy because it's also an energy. So I'm investing time energy, money energy, focus energy, like creative energy, all the energies.
no, it's really true. It's all really a currency. That's all it is, and that's what energy is a currency. That's why, like with the mantras, one of the biggest ones I see out here, people say, especially when it comes to money, they say, money comes to me all the time. I'm going to be rich and this and that. Why don't you just start incorporating all the different energies? Like physical currency comes to me, mental currency comes to me,
Yeah.
monetarily currency comes. Just don't focus on the money. Yeah, get all the energies that you can.
Yes. All the energy,
Get it all.
all the energy, the love energies, the joy energies.
Energy is just beautiful. And when you understand it and you know how to work with it, just like we said, it's a whole different ballgame. Like,
You know what's important too, actually, in regards to energy is being honest about it. Because it's like when we're talking about like, and people are like, oh, this is bad vibes or this is good vibes. So many times it's like energy projection. So like I think that we have to get really good at almost like bypassing the ego and seeing like, is this an energy frequency I'm holding? And this,
hmm
I mean, as above, so below. Like, gotta, I don't
no,
know.
and what you're, to me, that's a gift. That's called discernment. You got to be able to discern. You,
Yeah,
you know,
you understand your own energy, but honestly,
right.
because the tricky mother sucker.
And look, and just like prime example, look at us. This is how we showed up. This is, and it just goes to show, just be honest, be real, be yourself. And when you are, energy is just gonna flow. You know what I mean? So yeah, if people aren't aware, yeah, you're not a stranger to me, but I follow Jen. She is a beautiful light. She is a ball of energy, ball of love. She has this microphone and she just goes around and she just brings love and joy to the situation. Like people cannot, you know, you smile and you laugh because this is one of her dances. This is the way she interprets her true self. You know what I mean? And we were talking about that, about going back and being a child, right?
Yes.
You have to be innocent, and that's when you're honest, you're innocent. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
those two things are really connected. And then you can be in your joy and your authentic self. It's so much, I think, more about remembering
It is.
than like, oh, I need to be this person. No, I just need to remember who I am. That's it.
That's it. And I don't know if you want to share that. Like she's using the microphone and dancing now, and she shared with me, like we had a cool ass conversation. But this is what she used to do when she was small, you guys. Like this was her joy. This was her reality. You know what I mean? And look at her, she tapped back into it now in this stage of her life, and boom, flower blossom. You know?
Doing all the same things that I did when I was little. Except for I realized the other day I've not been squishing my toes in algae and catching frogs. So that is next on.
Mm, there it is. There it
Yeah,
is.
little that you love.
So Miss Jennings, Freedom Jennings.
Wait, I want to know though, what did you do when you were little that you loved?
Oh, that I loved. Oh my God. What I used to, I loved to, I don't know. I was always very active. I was always creative. Like, you know, didn't have the best upbringing, trailer park. So when I first got my first bike, I put a baseball card. I used to crush a can and put it on the back of the tire to make it sound like a motocross bike. So I
Mhm.
was,
Love that.
so I was always creative with what I had. You know what I mean? I was very imaginative. I would have my little toys and set them up, and I guess play war or whatever. You know what I mean? So whatever I had, I was very creative, and I tap back into that as people see who follow me with my food. So I know that's one of my energies. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Just being creative itself. So because not
Love.
really having a lot, but then at the same time, I did have a lot. I just had
Yeah.
to be creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
and then I've noticed that in my path when I'm not creative and I'm not this built up energy that we have inside of us, if I'm not literally doing something or building something or creating something, like I feel stagnant.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Totally love that. Okay, can I just share one more thing? And I'm totally diverting us, and I'm really sorry. I just
you're
remember
good.
I used to do that I would not do though today. But I used to get a hula hoop and put it on the sidewalk and collect all the pill bugs and like whatever other bugs I could, like roly polies. And I would have a circus. But then at some point I realized that they were like dying. I was like trying to put grass in,
Mm,
but it didn't really work. So I wouldn't do that. But I used to love doing that when I was a kid before I realized that I was causing mayhem in lives.
and yeah, let's not do. That's why the kitchen is a big part of my everyday thing because I used to mess around in the kitchen. So I'll tell you a quick story. Yeah, I know I'm dividing too, but so my dumb ass, right? I'm hungry and I come home from school and pork and beans, right, in a can. I'm like, let me go ahead and heat this up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get creative and I actually just put it on the burner, on the stove burner. Forgot about it. All of a sudden I hear a big boom. There's pork and beans fucking everywhere. I'm like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Like I already know. I'm gonna get my ass kicked, right? So I did this big old clean and this and that and blah blah blah, this and that. And my dad comes home and hey dad, blah, blah, blah. And we're in the kitchen and he was always in the kitchen cooking. That's where I get that from. He always had me in the kitchen. And we're talking and all of a sudden like bloop, a pork and bean fell on him and he looks up and I look up and I forgot to clean the ceiling. Oh my God. Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
What was that?
So and I don't know if it's just, I just always had curiosity. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah, so fun.
I'm like,
Do
I
you
can
have
do this.
a chart?
Huh?
Do you have Gemini in your chart?
No, I do. I have a Gemini moon.
Oh, I love Gemini. My boyfriend is Gemini
Is he a
too.
Gemini moon?
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
A Virgo with the Gemini moon.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Is he
I'm,
into health?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the house of health. Yeah.
No, and I am actually a Gemini rising and a Virgo moon.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It was meant to be. It was
And
meant to.
sun. With all the stuff in the sixth house. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm diverting us.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Hey, everybody knows who watches this, and we appreciate you, brothers and sisters. You know we go with the flow. So whatever happens, happens. Um, yeah, the topic was tarot, but I think we really kind of diverted this morning and just really showing up as we are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's fun.
And I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's some who don't know that. And
Yeah.
it's sad because you have a lot of gifts, you have a lot of talents, you have a lot of love to give, but you want to put on a character in a costume. You're only supposed to do that one day out the year, which is Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So showing up and being yourself is going to be the change, not only for yourself, but for everybody around you. Like, I was up till 3 o'clock last night, you know what I mean? And I'm like, boom, you know?
I don't know how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
everybody knows I chase the sun. So it's sun gazing is one of my natural things I incorporate in my path. You know what I mean? So it's like, coffee or smoothie or whatever. Like I gotta have the sun. You know what I
I
mean?
love sun gazing in the afternoon.
You have to be careful. You're gonna burn your eyes out. You're gonna burn your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pick your battle. What was
Okay,
that?
here's about tarot and being a child. Do you know I started reading tarot when I was 14? I was still kind of like a kid. Yeah. Still kind of
So
like,
how did that come about? Did somebody give you a tarot deck, or you felt?
yeah, this one of my neighbors, and I was like a really relatively troubled child. I won't go all into it. And he was like, he ended up being one of my best friends, and he was like in his 70s or something. And he was like, you got such a rainbow aura. And I was like, cool. And he was like, let's go read tarot cards. So we used to read tarot cards. And so I had it, I don't know even if I bought a deck or if he gave me one, but every day we would read tarot together. But, then I would read it like, how's this party going to go? And I get the tower. And then sure enough, forever, 2 minutes, mace, getting hounded by the cops while I'm on.
It was so kind of expand on that, because for some who do watch, like they don't have an understanding of tarot. They may think it's part of like dark energy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
kind
no,
of give your breakdown to you what tarot is and what it represents.
it's a tool, and you can use any tool with whatever intention and energy, and that's the energy you're going to get back. Except for maybe the Ouija board. I don't know. I'd be really careful with that thing. I've been using it.
Yeah.
I had to put that thing away when I was in my 20s because that gets wild. But tarot is just a deck of cards, and it's just like anything. Ooh, one time I explained it because I was explaining it to my family when I was older. Because so I started using them more for like shadow work and understanding, because the tarot is a lot about like archetypes, especially not oracle cards, but like tarot cards, so it has like the major arcana and the minor arcana, and the major is like archetypes and like the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talks about, that we like go through these different experiences. But my family is relatively not even they're very fundamentalist, which is fine, but there was a lot of problems for a long time with that. I've been reading, so now I've been reading tarot 26 years. So that was like they didn't let it anyway. They didn't like it, and but they would ask me about it. And I remember one time one of my family members called me, and they were like, "Oh, I saw this license plate, and it said Colorado," and I was like, "Oh, that means that I need to call Freedom." because she's in Colorado. And anyway, she told me a lot of things, and then she had asked me, she was like, well, I don't know, I think that the tarot cards are bad. And I was like, well, you know, just how you read the license plate in front of you and you said that that means God wants you to call freedom, it's the same with the cards. I pull a card and this gives me information, and we can get information from anywhere. So we can use cards for information. And actually, to be honest, like, I started using the cards when I was a kid, and I still use them, but mostly I always think it's like a magician, and I just have like something out for people, but most of the time, actually, I'm just getting information from spirit. So I can read the, but mostly I'm literally just being told or shown information. So I'm giving a lot that's just not even in the, like,
Yeah, so you're just using that, but you're positioning yourself just to receive.
yeah, because I just say, make me a channel of your peace and give me the information that the person in front of me needs to hear. And so the cards help direct the conversation, I would say, at this point. But they can give us a lot of information, especially it's helpful, like using them for myself for like dream interpretation, or if there's something that I just don't want to look at because my ego's like, I'm really stubborn. I don't want to see that. I'm like, all right.
How to pull out the tarot.
By the way, I drank a lot of coffee. I'm up right now.
You're feeling it. You're feeling it.
It's so hard.
It finally hits you. Mm-hmm. When that beat drops.
It's really overkill. Oh my God, y'all, tarot, it's so much fun.
So let me ask you. So as far as tarot, there's, just like you said, it's basically it's just another vehicle to use for, you know, information, for guidance. Is there certain is there like specifics to it, or can you just be like, I want to do a weekly tarot, see how my week goes? Like how would you explain that to people? Like how can
Yeah,
they utilize it?
I think that it probably, like, someone's tarot journey is going to develop over time. Just how, like, when I was a kid and I would read, I was like, oh, does Susie like me? Or like, oh, how's this gonna go at this thing? And then I think that we, especially if we really like doing deep work on ourselves, we start to use it more for deep work.
Right.
Like understanding like the parts of self that aren't just on the table, really. So I think that as it develops, we use it for a lot. And probably most of the readings that I do are actually relationship readings, or like when people are unclear what to do in the future or what's going to happen in the future. And people always ask about the future. Ooh, this is one of the things that's really fun about energy and tarot. I always tell, especially because I teach beginners tarot classes too, which I love doing. I teach like a 2-day class and we go like really deep into it, like what the archetypes are and the symbolism in the cards and the meanings. It's really fun. It's super fun. And we talk about like how to clear them and how to make sure that the energy is all good. Okay, I got distracted.
You're talking about tarot and energy.
I know, because I got the coffee.
Well, let me ask you this. Yeah, let me ask you this. So you do those classes in
What I was gonna say, huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's that, you know, people want to know about the future, and I'm always like, you know, the future is malleable. It doesn't have to be set in stone. Whatever energy you have right now when we read the cards is going to give you an accurate answer. But if you decide you want to shift your energy, if you want to put in the effort to like making some energy shifts in your life, you know, the answer is going to change. So it doesn't have to be set in stone. If you don't like the answer, figure out where you want to shift your energy. We can even ask the cards, how can I shift my energy so that I can receive a different outcome? Like, what is the work I need to do on myself? Anyway.
No, that's amazing. So you said there's a difference between just a regular tarot deck and oracle cards?
Oh yeah.
For people who are listening who wouldn't know that, how would you go into that? So they
The
have a
tarot,
little understanding.
The oracle cards, you can get like any kind of oracle cards, and they'll have like a little booklet, and they'll tell you different things. And, like this one's like a sacred spaces oracle deck. And so it's about sacred sites, and it gives you information. And this one's Ascended Masters. I don't use a lot of oracle decks, but these are some of my favorites. And Teal Swan has a really good oracle deck that's on like a shadow side.
I've seen it.
That
I've
thing.
seen it. That's so. Oh my god, it's crazy. Even fucking say that.
Want to see? Got it.
Yeah, my friend who allowed me to stay with her when I was in Utah. She's a practitioner too, and she showed me the deck in the book, and we were going through some shadow work. I was like, her deck is insane.
That
That shit hit home. I was like, okay, there's some truth in this. Like, okay, put it away.
I only bring that for the strong of heart.
I said, put that shit away. Like, no, I didn't say that, but it's like that's how much it resonated. Like her deck is amazing.
Yeah, and tarot is a little different because the traditional tarot deck, so this is like a traditional Rider-Waite deck, goes through, it has like the major arcana, so there's like cards, and then it has the minor arcana, and then it has court cards, and it's much more specific. It's going to be like the same mostly across. I always have my students and stuff work with the Rider-Waite deck because it's like a very traditional deck, but there's so much symbolism that you can connect things. But I would say tarot's a little more intense or serious than most oracle decks. Like most oracle decks are kind of like, here's a fluffy cloud and I love you. And tarot is a little more like, look, here's the real deal.
So breaking down, because I know symbolism, numbers, we're all into this. How many major arcanas, how many minors?
It's 78 cards total.
In total.
22 major. And whatever 78 minus 22 is hold on.
44.
There's 16 court cards because that's 4 times 4, right? So 22 plus 16 and then minus 78.
It's early.
Here's the problem. My system is hyped up on coffee and it's good. So there's 40 minor arcana. That would be right. Oh, duh, because there's 10 cards of each suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a much better way.
And so what would the major arcanas exemplify? Like what would that be in the deck?
Oh, I haven't separated. So that's like the hero journey, or like so here we could call it literally the fool's journey because it could start and end with the fool. But I don't even know if we have the fool over here. I should have done this earlier, but I didn't really.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, here's the fool. So the fool is 0. And so this is like, it can be like cyclical. So the fool, a lot of people put the fool at the beginning and a lot of people put the fool at the end. I like to put it at the beginning when I'm teaching. Because, so are you familiar with Joseph Campbell and his work?
Not too deep into it.
He was like an anthropologist and he studied different cultures, and he talked about the hero's journey and how we would go through, like he went all over the world. He's deceased. It was a long time ago. He would go all over the world and he would study cultures and their stories and things like that. And one of the things that he noticed was that there was like a very specific story he called the hero's journey that all of these stories have in common that you would see in like the Bible or Harry Potter or whatever. And culturally, there's same storylines, and there's the hero and he goes out on his journey and he has to go through these trials and he has some love and he has some downfall and you don't know if the hero's going to make it. Anyway, like he found that there was a similar theme across cultures. It doesn't matter if how connected they are, that the hero's journey is basically always the same. And he talked about the dark night of the soul that the hero has to go through. So he was the one who kind of really talked about that term, the dark night of the soul, and that all of the heroes have to go through the dark night of the soul on the journey. So the major arcana is kind of the archetypes, and Carl Jung talks a lot about archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Jung talked a lot about archetypes, and it's interesting because the cards go through a lot of these archetypes that were on the hero's journey, or that you can also relate back to Jung's work. I get really excited about it.
No, it's true though. It's like that's been the theme. Like you said, even it's religion, mythology, Samson, even if it's Egyptian, it's the same thing. It's
It's the same. So you can follow the cards through this hero journey, and the major arcana like talk about the big life shifts, like the hero on his journey doing his thing and slaying dragons. And then the minor arcana is more like, you know, when they're doing the walking in the Hobbit. And then like, I don't know, there's the like big interesting ring things, and those would be more like the major arcana. Probably. I don't remember the Hobbit exactly, but I think there's some like arguments with the ring and Gollum and some things. And this would be like more like the major thing. And then the part where they're walking around, that might be more like minor arcana things. Like those things matter because they're energy.
Mm-hmm. Even though they're small, it's still part of the archetypes that you go through in your journey.
Yeah, they're just like the smaller ones that we kind of get there. Does that make sense?
No, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. And like me, you know me, I relate it back to like astrology and the ecliptic and the zodiac. That's why we have 12. They're all different archetypes. We all go through a wave.
Yeah. And you like numerology too, right? And so all the numbers are also very symbolic.
Oh, the numbers, it's the universe is made by numbers and letters. We're in a solar luminescence. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're in a 6 year. So we're like this year numerologically. And so this is the year of the lovers. So this is about like finding balance within the masculine and feminine within ourselves, or the polarities more specifically. Doesn't even have to be necessarily like we need to find balance between the polarities. So we're going to have like these kind of extreme polarities happening so that we can figure out how to kind of come to balance.
I didn't know that. Nice.
But it's really fun.
Yeah, I know my daughter, she called me because her girlfriend, she's into tarot, so she's over there doing readings, and it's like, nice, you know what I mean? Do one for me. So
it's practice.
It is.
Especially like before the internet age, you know, like I didn't really have the internet back then. Right. So you just like practice and you study the cards. And if someone's like really wanting to get into it, then like your daughter, she's wanting to do it, have her like pick a different card every day, like pick a card and like study it. Or you like journal about it, write about it. What does that mean? What does that look like in archetypes? How do I access that energy already? Where do I feel like that energy is far away from me? And the cool part is you can even use the cards to ask those questions and get answers.
Right. So let me ask you this, because I know you brought it up while you were conversating. You teach people.
Yeah.
Would you ever do something online, or is it more an in-person type atmosphere?
I want to develop something for online because I think that would be really fun and it would be easier to access more people. And I think I could do it like more financially. It would be easier financially right now because the classes it's literally an 8-hour class for 2 days in a row. Like we go in deep. So yeah.
Nice.
So that takes a lot of time and energy. So the classes are more expensive, and I would like to figure out a way to do them though online.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk. That's what I'm all about. Yeah, I'm about
Yeah,
systems.
I'm good. You're good. Yeah, you're good at the online thing, so maybe you can help me figure it out because I just know how to Snapchat with my microphone.
And if you want, I don't know if you want to come back, but we have a minute left. I don't know if you want to continue the conversation, if we're good, but yeah, if people want a reading or if they want to know more about tarot, if they want to connect with freedom, where can they find you? Shout out all your
Oh, all paths lead. Oh, is my thing. Um, and
and I'll leave
freedom.
it on the yeah, I'll leave it on the bottom too so people can connect if they want to connect with you. So
Yeah, Freedom Jennings is my name, and I'm in Austin, Texas. So if people are here, they can. I actually work out of my home. I like to call it like the healing house or my practitioner space. My whole home is basically around my work, also though. So it's like very healing, and I have a beautiful room. And I teach classes, and I do readings here, and then I also work at Nature's Treasures doing practitioner work twice a month.
and if she's not doing that, she's dancing her ass off and singing to the beat of her own drum.
Or Monday nights.
So again, since I want to